Well, I want to create this video to alert people. I want to make a kitty cat, my precious kitty cat, cancer series of videos. Even though I was not successful in saving her, I realize now that she was a much older cat, but I think I could have saved her. This was actually from October 2017 when I was calling her Missy, and I changed her name to GoldDigger because she was so demanding. But I did everything for her. It didn't matter. I just realized she needed something, but I never put two and two together that she was a much older cat. If I would have realized that, I would have done more, and I was doing a lot for her. This is also back in October 2017. She would stay in one place, and this was a piece of cardboard I put outside, and she'd just sit on that cardboard, and I'd see her out there in a security camera. She wouldn't wander around. So she was content to be in one place, and I noticed she couldn't jump on top of the car, and I had to put her up there when I put the cat food up there to keep it away from the bugs when she was outside. She couldn't jump up on this chair, this red chair here. This is the chair I actually use when I'm doing YouTube videos. So she was always on it. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I very politely, tell her to get off when I had to use it for her, but I would leave her on there. And this was actually June 8th, 2019. She looked 100% perfect before the cancer. Cancer, basically, it probably was starting right around this time, even though I wasn't aware of it. It was probably starting right around that time. I'm going to say that the carbon C60 really did stave off the problems of the cancer. This was back in January 2018. I had only known her about 4 or 5 months, about 4 months at that time, three or 4 months. And here she's curiously looking at something. Just this cat was one of a kind. I have a bunch of cats. Actually, I have 7 cats right now, but and they're all special. But she was special among the special. Let me say that. And I tell you the truth, I am, kicking myself not realizing that she was an older cat. This is also in early 2019. She was doing fine. She just said she couldn't jump that high, and now I'm realizing she was an older cat. She didn't play around as much, but very smart with communicating with people in her own cat language. She had a very good vocabulary. You knew exactly what you wanted, what she needed, and but to tell you the truth, this is when I was giving her colostrum. She was doing very well, and that was May 1st. So well that I stopped the carbon C60. That was a mistake. But to tell you the truth, I'm not forgiving YouTube on this. YouTube has changed, morphed into something completely different. Now it's not they at the top have changed YouTube. Well, they have by being coerced by outside influences. I actually put this out before, that outside influences, now that they've seen that it's such a great force of, swaying the public or getting information out there, they don't want YouTube to be used against entrenched monopolies or rackets that they have. People out of New York City are typically like that. The big money guys, that is. And, now it's changed. So I was demonetized in YouTube around, I think, August 6th or something like that. And the first cancer hints of her, which I didn't know was cancer, I just thought it was a skin problem. She had these skin problems off and on, like the redness. And here, I'm showing her with a bunch of carbon C60. Actually, the first hint of redness on her sides was August 3rd at night, not in the morning, at night. When I came home at night late, it was there. And then I said, what did she do, scratch herself? And then I got demonetized on YouTube about 3 days later. So that was drawing my attention from her. So when I found out she had advanced cancer on August 15th, I didn't realize what was going on. I would have picked up on this earlier. 1 week could have made all the difference in the world. Even though she was an older cat, I could have pulled her through. And the demonetization on YouTube was actually 100% why I probably couldn't pull her through, because even though I did everything under the sun, I want to tell you, the stuff I did usually works. I did get her. She had all this fur on the back of her. You can see it. So here you can see this is one of the early. This is August 10th. You can see the redness on her back here. A lot of this fur was being eaten up. The skin, you could smell it. It smelled like I don't know. I guess you could say it smells like cancer. It smelled like something decaying, and you could see there was spots on the skin. like brown spots, and the fur was going away on both sides. And I put carbon C60 on there, olive oil, the carbon C60 olive oil, Live On Labs vitamin C, CBD oil, natural vitamin D3, and natural vitamin E with tocopherols, and coconut oil. And actually, that part was cleared up. That part went away, and her fur came back in. That really did work. Actually, I think some of the stuff I was doing, even when her tongue was working, the tongue tumor, the damage to the tongue was there. There was a tumor on her tongue. The damage was there, but it turned into like not a red bump. It was like flat and brownish color. And what I think really happened was the cancer finally damaged her internal organs so bad, or her life force so bad, she was no longer digesting the food correctly, whereby it would go into her cells. It was just going into what they call a brown fat. Brown fat is often associated with cancer. You could be wasting away, you're eating, and the food is being metabolized into brown fat. And the fat that you have, that's white fat. Normally we have brown fat and white fat. White fat is for storing energy. Brown fat is for burning energy for heat. So you can be eating more and more, and if you're metabolizing your food energy into brown fat, it's no matter what you eat, it's not going to work. You're not going to have enough calories. Another thing is, I think her liver function was damaged from, but I did give her a lot of CBD oil and hemp oil. Had 160 doses of CBD, human doses of CBD oil. You can't overdo that stuff. She got 160 doses of that in 30 days. She actually looked like she was doing pretty good. A lot of videos you can see she was outside, walking around in my 16 by 40 foot cat pen, and she seemed pretty relaxed. And she was actually, this was actually earlier time in 2018. She's on the bed. She was, but she was within, she was like the four. I got just four male cats. There's Putin, Rocky, Goldie, and Onyx, and they're around her in the living room, and they're kind of like all facing each other, just kind of like a little cat family. And she was GoldDigger, little Tiffany GoldDigger. She was waving her tail slightly, but she seemed pretty content. I mean, if she's hiding her pain, she wouldn't be wagging her tail like that and just. Because I was giving her a lot of food and a lot of water, but somehow she was wasting away anyway. But if I would have caught this 1 week earlier, it could have made the difference. That's why when I was alerted to cancer, and I said, oh my God, she is an older cat. I couldn't believe this. I says, dummy, why the hell did I not pick up she was an older cat? Now that could be my fault, definitely, and I'm blaming myself for that. But if I would have picked up she had cancer or something a week earlier, it could have been all the difference in the world. These methods do work. The vet said there was a 90% chance the chemo wouldn't work, 10% chance with the advanced cancer she had, 10% chance it would work, but only for a year. That's chemo. And I'm like, 9, that's still 10%. In other words, I don't think it would have worked because I think she was a very advanced age. But I think I could have brought her back if I caught this 1 week earlier. And I'm blaming this demonetization on YouTube on this 100%. I do not forgive. Somebody else will forgive. I'm going to be permanently pissed off with this. Because this cat, to me, was worth more than, I said it before, 90% of the politicians in the world. The phony bigwigs. She was a sweetheart and a half. And, sometimes I do believe she does live on. But I want to preface this video is going to be a preface for a playlist I'm going to put with, provided YouTube allows even, I'm actually putting a disclaimer on the bottom here that I'm putting all these videos on BitChute, and I'm trying to get on Subscribestar, not because I want to be on Subscribestar to charge people money, but I want to get on Subscribestar so I can make a payment to BitChute to set up like a silver level or gold level with a bunch of playlists and things and different channels, so I can categorize all my videos on BitChute. BitChute's been cut off so much from big tech They do not. The major credit card companies don't allow them to process payments so you can give BitChute money. PayPal cut them off. PayPal doesn't allow them to process payments, so you just can't go. Here BitChute, here's $10 a month, so I could have a, more playlist and stuff. No. And the reality is that this is flat out communist big censorship, big tech, big censorship. And at one point in time, I would have never known about Carbon C60 if it wasn't for YouTube. But that was a different YouTube. And YouTube has already been changing since 2017. I found out about Carbon C60 in late 2017. But it was already changing. But now it's getting worse and worse and worse. So, I plan to keep doing this. But it's going to be like, I don't even know if BitChute can survive. They might. Because, they use the torrent technology in the web browser, which helps them save a lot on its server cost. But these videos with the cat cancer, they are on BitChute. Trouble is, they're not going to be categorized in a playlist. So you'd have to look. You got to look. You got to look. You got to look. So they will be categorized in a playlist on YouTube. But who the hell knows how long YouTube will last? And I personally think there's a major exodus going out of YouTube right now. As a matter of fact, my personal browsing, what I'm doing now, I barely watch any YouTube videos. I really just don't even bother with the platform much. I want to get remonetized, but you know what? If they don't monetize me, or if they delete my channel, it's just going to make me make more money, because I'll have to just go back doing accounting, and I'm going to use some of that money, because I don't forget. I don't forget. I'm going to use some of that money to attack back at big tech to the max. I've already written my congressman about how they're swaying the political process and all this type of stuff. And he's not going to survive if he just wants to ignore this, because it's not my complaint. It's affecting him more than it's going to affect me, because he's a conservative. So that's why I look at it. You want to wake up. You don't want to wake up. Fine. Don't matter to me, because it's going to bite you in the ass worse than me. As far as like what I have for income, I don't have just YouTube money. Like I know some people are totally exclusively money on. I work for a CPA firm part time, and I also have Social Security, and I also have money. And also don't have any debt. I've never had any debt for freaking last, I don't know. I haven't had any debt for more than 20 years. Okay, so it tells you something right there. But I want this YouTube money back anyway. I do. But the thing is, if they give it back to me or not, they better change back to where they were. I mean, completely. And give a free hand to the creators, and without, I know it's almost impossible with Coca-Cola and, pharmaceutical and all this, not wanting to pay all the bills, but I guess what really's got to happen is the American people got to stop. Well, they're not going to stop that, because that's why the American people are dupes, and they get duped into everything. But I'm going to put this, like I said, I want to preface this video with this video is going to be a preface for the playlist on the kitty cat cancer. I'm going to tell you, I think it was a lot more successful than you would think. The reason I think kitty cat couldn't make it was just due to age, and I didn't catch it quite fast enough. The cancer was a very rapidly spreading cancer. Say she was 9-10 years old. I don't know how old she was, but I know by looking up with veterinarians, they would say if a cat can't jump on a bed, that's about 13 to 15 years old. But then there's cats that can jump on a bed no problem that are 18 years old. So I don't know if she was, they're saying at least 13 to 15 back in 2017. She could have been 16 to 18 years old back then. She could have been 18 to 20 years old now when she died. I don't know. But then again, I believe that she could have lived a lot longer. I have this spooky scaler running right now, doing molecular double gold CBD oil. She would have had that. I got that all for her. I got all that stuff for her. And I basically think, the big tech oligarchs murdered my kitty. I really do. By them cutting me off, they diverted my attention from her. For just that an extra week would have made a difference. And I don't really trust vets at all. I don't trust them at all. But the one thing, when they looked at her tongue and they said it was cancer, I says, oh God. And then I realized she was an older cat and everything. I guess if I would have brought her to the vet 1 week earlier, well, then again, I don't know if the tongue issue would have been as apparent, because it's coming on very quick. Like her not eating that much was only like a couple days before I brought her to the vet. She was starting to get more and more fussy, maybe 2 or 3 days before I brought her to the vet. In other words, there was nothing really apparent other than that skin issue, which he's had off and on since I've had her since 2017. But a little more attention on her, which was my attention was being diverted by the demonetization, could have probably saved her life. Because that's why I was scrambling with so many methods, and I want to make sure people see these methods and don't think that because she didn't live that she didn't die. She had to be put to sleep on the end. That's really what happened. I was giving her food. I was feeding her twice a day, and I was up to 200 cans, 200 Tallard cans. In other words, she was getting most of those cans between like 240 and 350 calories, plus the calories from the olive oil, carbon C60, and the Live On Labs, vitamin C. She was getting, I don't know what, she was getting like average at least 300 calories a day for the last 9 or 10 days before I brought her to the vet. And she was losing weight like crazy. And she was dehydrated, even though I was spending 45 minutes twice a day, so an hour and a half, using the water bottle, squirting on the side of her mouth, and she was gulping the water, and she was able to drink out of the water bowl even, besides using the tap faucet. And so her tongue looked like it was getting a little bit better. But she was wasting away. What I think happened really was I was knocking out the cancer, or maybe I knocked out all the cancer. The problem is her vital organs were destroyed, and her metabolism was destroyed. In other words, if I caught it 1 week earlier, it could have made all the difference in the world. That's why I'm pissed off at this crap at YouTube. And, it's a little thing you think, but it's a big thing to me. And sometimes little things are what starts a war. And I'm in a war mode right now. I've been in war mode. I'm not going to go use my attacks on YouTube and use their platform to attack them. That's ludicrous. But there's other methods I'm going to be using totally outside the tech arena. And I'm never going to forget this, because this cat, she's immortalized right now. I have her up there by the menorah in her little box with her pictures on it. Precious kitty, Tiffany GoldDigger, passed away September 18th, 2019. And, she came back to me in dreams, too. She did. And so I know she's fine. And I don't think she wants to be avenged, but I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. But big tech, big pharma, big banks, big military, you name it. They're all crooked. They're all garbage. And Miss Kitty Cat is worth more than all of them put together. That's my opinion, and my opinion is actually righteous to the max. Miss Kitty Cat, Tiffany GoldDigger, is worth more than all the big tech, big military, big pharma, and big banking put together. She's a sweetheart and a half. She always was. And, I realized she's more of a sweetheart than I thought she was a sweetheart, because, I thought she was a little bit, like, fussy, but I didn't mind. I was always doing everything for her. But now I realize she wasn't, not in the least. She was a gem and a half. She was an older cat, and she had some issues. And I just thought she was a little bit frail, maybe, and maybe it's because she was wandering around. But, she had some issues. If I would have known she was an older cat, I would have been giving her, Spark herbal formulas and stuff ahead of time. But I was giving her other herbal formulas. The carbon C60 likely was keeping the cancer from starting. But once the cancer starts, and to tell you the truth, I think a lot of the cancer was knocked out. I think it's just that, I don't know what her age would have been by human terms, but she could have been around 18, which would have put her like in her early 90s, in human terms. I'm not sure. But you know what? I'm not looking at it like that. I think she could have lived to be 10 more years, maybe even more than that, because there's other things that we could do to extend life. I value this cat too much, and I am pissed off. I am pissed off. I'm pissed off because, yeah, okay, I didn't pick up she was an older cat. I mean, I was doing a lot more. I was doing beyond what I was doing more for her than any of my cats too, and I do all this extra stuff for my cats. But you know, if I would have known, if I wasn't demonetized, I think it was August 6th. It was like 3 days after I saw. Actually, it was August 3rd. I saw a slight amount of redness on her fur, on her back. I thought, what'd she do? Scratch herself? And then it got worse. But I didn't notice, anything else. And I might have noticed something else if, I wasn't demonetized and I started getting on with BitChute. I said, hell with this. I'm moving all my stuff up. I'm moving my stuff up there. But as of now, nothing's safe. I mean, BitChute, big money's trying to go after BitChute left and right. They're hiding all videos that they don't like on YouTube. I mean, that they criticize them, so they'll hide this one. But this video is going up on BitChute anyway. I'm not going to be able to make a playlist on BitChute regarding my various topics until you subscribe. How the hell could you pay BitChute? I'm not getting cryptocurrency. Sorry, that's ridiculous. I hate those stupid things. I mean, maybe they're great for some people, but I'm not doing that. If I can't give them some U.S. greenbacks someplace way, I'm not gonna. This is ridiculous. It's like all the credit card companies and PayPal conspired to go after BitChute. Why? Because they're allowing freedom of information. Okay, there's some things on there maybe that aren't freaking the best thing in the world, right? But the thing is, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Nobody's, you got to have freedom of freaking speech. If you don't have that, who the hell are you? You people up there on the top, you think you're gods? Well, that's what you think you are. That's what I don't really give a crap about if anything catastrophic happens to you. I don't care. I don't care in the least. Not going to bother me at all. If all the demigods out of New York City all got destroyed, I wouldn't care. I care about this kitty cat. It said more than all the big banking, big pharma, big tech, and big military. I could care less about all those jackasses. I don't care about them. I don't care. I care more about this kitty cat. And here you got little Putin over here looking at her, see? So, and, I'm blaming this garbage on him. So, she's immortalized. And, she's going to be with me as I strike back. But like I said, there's going to be other avenues which we strike back through. I'm not going to be so stupid as to go on YouTube. I mean, yeah, I'm complaining about it right now on the platform, but that ain't going to be my emphasis. No, there's going to be other ways. There's going to be a lot of politicians who are going to find out about this stuff because I'm not going to complain about me to the politicians. I'm just going to alert them. And guess what? You could have the biggest budget in the world for your re-election, but if big tech don't like you, you're going to sink. You know what? And if you're going to suck up the big tech, what good are you? In other words, the whole political process is being co-opted by big tech. As a matter of fact, the entire life process where we can heal with nature, that's being co-opted by big pharma through big tech. Everything. Total ownership. CIA, right? What do you call them? Communist infiltrating America, and FBI, right? Fascist bureaucracy of intimidation. That's what I call them. Cops. Communists obeying politicians. Who the hell needs anybody in the government? They don't really help you, man. Some people are good, but that's because they're good. Not the fact that they're in the government that makes them good. No, not at all. But that's exactly how it works with everything. But a lot of people are very naive. They don't get it. So anyway, this is going to be a long. I already went longer on this, but I was going to make this video. It's going to be on YouTube. As far as long to YouTube lasts. And I'm gonna have this is gonna be the first video in a playlist with the cancer videos. Don't think that these methods don't work. If it was 1 week earlier, I would have caught it. She was a little younger, might have worked, and very sad it didn't work. But and a lot of things I was doing was alleviating a lot of pain, which is another thing. Because boy, I didn't want to keep kitty cat in pain, but it would look like it was impossible. It was like that was it. I mean, she's lost too much weight. And no matter how much I fed her, how much food I gave her, how much water I gave her, and you wouldn't believe how many hours I put into this. I mean, a lot of hours every day. I was exhausted. tell you the truth. I was putting on the marathon. I put on my marathon hat with Miss Kitty to try to save her. I did everything. I would have moved, heaven and hell, and beseech Satan himself to even freaking save her. That's how much, I wanted her not to die. But I don't think she died. I think she's just in a different area or something, because she's actually come back to me in dreams. It's like this really, to me, it's illustrated in my mind how radical YouTube has went in a 180-degree angle. And I don't know, they hire people, trolls. I could tell which ones they are, and maybe they're not hiring them directly, but there are professional trolls on about. I noticed that all my videos with anything to do with health or medical, they're way downrated. They're being pushed out of focus of the public. Anything with MD or some consortium of doctors or pharmaceutical agencies or whatever, that's all being pushed to the forefront. Yeah. How's the war on cancer going? And you can say I was a failure on this? I don't think so. Anything they would have done would have been a failure. Plus, it would have put Kitty Cat in even more harm and more pain. But a lot of things you can see, like the fur coming back on the skin. In other words, if you had a skin issue with cancer, you could see there's things you can apply topically that would have worked. That did work. That part did work on her. And I think the cancer internally in her was gone. It was just that, just like a lot of times when you get rid of cancer, sometimes too late, you had too much damage to your vital organs. I think that's really what happened. Because no matter how much food I gave her, her tongue was getting better. She was eating. I was able, as a matter of fact, the first time I tried to feed her a can of food, I'll give you an example here in the end. I think it was August. I took her to the doctor on the 15th. It was August 21st, right around that time. I tried to get her. It took me a half an hour to feed her. Not even a half a can of a 5-ounce can of food. A half an hour. No, wait a minute. Almost an hour. I think it was almost an hour. Wait a minute. Excuse me. 4 hours. 4 hours. That's what it was. 4 hours. It's on my videos. August 21st, I think it was, on a Wednesday. I think it took me 4 hours to give her about a half a can of the recovery food. And I'm doing this from remember. It was 4 hours. And then, by the end of the month, in August, another week later, she was getting most of the kitten food down like in 20 minutes. Kitten food. Then, about a week later, not even a week later, in early September, I was getting about a half a can of regular food, which I was giving her Healthy Banquet, I believe it was called. That was taking, the first half was taking maybe 15 minutes, and then the next half was taking 20 minutes or more. It was taking more time. Then it was getting down to the point the first half of the can would take 7 minutes, and then the second half of the can was getting down to 20 minutes. And so I was getting a lot of food into her, and I thought she was getting clogged up because she was trying to go to the bathroom, and she was just sitting there trying to go to the bathroom in a litter box, and nothing was coming out, and she had all this puffiness on her stomach. What was going on was somehow the food was not being digested right. The intestines and the colon were empty. When I took her the next morning to the vet, I paid for an x-ray, and she was weak. So something like her vital organs weren't working right. I don't think that was a cancer. I mean, you look at the x-ray, you don't see any tumors or anything. There's no tumors in there. The tongue was damaged, but it was no longer like a red swollen. It was like brown and flat on the one side of the tongue, and she was able to drink water better. But in other words, if I would have got this 1 week earlier, she could have survived, and then I could have used a scalar unit to help revive and heal her at a very, I don't know. I think I could have brought her back if it wasn't for, just this distraction on YouTube, because I was very high. I think it really Probably the Confederate videos were one of the things they knocked me out for. It could be a number of things. But I was putting Confederate videos up on BitChute, and then I was doing other videos up on BitChute, trying to get as many of them up there as I can. And I did request more remonetization, but they're gonna gaff me off. You're not gonna hear nothing from them like after a month, and you're not gonna hear nothing from 2 months. You're not gonna hear nothing for 3 months, and then 6 months later, you're still gonna be sitting there not hearing nothing from them. So I already know. I could pretty much freaking figure what they're gonna be doing. But to tell you the truth, like I said, I don't really watch YouTube anymore. It's like if I need the information, I'll go read it. I'll go buy the book. If I gotta, if they're gonna silence the voice of all the voices of truth, I don't need YouTube as a platform. I don't need to get satanic advertisements from people that are hell bent on destroying humanity, like Coca-Cola and Big Pharma and Monsanto, whatever else you have out there. I don't care about them. I mean, maybe the American public in general is going to support them, but I won't. The American public in general is gullible. They support the crooks in action or the communists infiltrating America, and the fascist bureau of intimidation, and the communists on patrol, or communists obeying politicians, or whatever you want to call them, or crooks obeying politicians. That's the way I look at it. The American public is actually very naive during a bubble. They think, oh, somebody will come out there if there was a market for it, they would come. Yeah, if there's a market for it, it might cut into somebody else's business. What do you think happened with hemp in the first place, right? Industrial hemp with healing. Cannabis was in all the all the medicines for forever until it was outlawed. But I think it was the Marijuana Stamp Tax Act in 1947. The AMA was the most to complain about it. Yeah, some of it's coming back, but there's so many issues that. The big money saw YouTube, and they didn't like what was going on, and now they control it. So I look at to me, the one pivot point for me was they helped Kitty Cat in the beginning, because I would have never found out about Carbon C60 if it wasn't for YouTube, probably. Maybe I would have anyway by looking some other ways, but then YouTube helped with that. But then now, since they distracted me with this demonetization thing, that could have been that 1 week extra that I could have had that would have saved Kitty Cat. Because I think, like I said, I saw the issue with the skin on the back of her. This is all red back here and all screwed up. It was eaten away. It even smelled like something decaying. And when I put all the oils on there, in other words, the CBD oil, the Live On Labs liposomal vitamin C oil, the vitamin E natural with tocopherols, mixed tocopherols, and the vitamin D natural, and what else? I guess there was a couple other things, but everything healed up on her. All the skin issue healed up, and the fur came right back, really quick. Most of it was half grown in. It was like there. It was only half the height, but it was all grown in. No redness or nothing. So that I mean, if you have an external cancer issue, that would work. And I think what was going on with her internally was working, but it was just so many damage. I mean, if she was a younger cat and she had the cancer, she probably wouldn't have got the cancer though. And she had more life force and vitality. Like I said, she couldn't jump up on the bed. She can claw her way up. She could claw her way up on a chair. She couldn't leap. She didn't have the strength to do that. So, if she had more vitality and strength, probably would have made it. So, anyway, Miss Pee-Pee here. Anyway, so this is in honor of Miss Precious Tiffany GoldDigger, the cat, and like I said, I'm going to preface this is a long video. I already made it. I've waited longer than I thought, but sometimes I want to throw other things in there where I'm coming from with this. And I'm at war now in her name, although she's not urging me to do this. It's me. I'm pissed off. They killed Miss Precious. Basically, I look at it this way: YouTube's demonetization of me was it could have been that week I could have saved her, and it could have been a happy outcome. It made a nice video series too, besides where people could be hopeful. Now, it makes it look like alternative natural treatments don't work, which goes along with the satanic policy of Big Pharma, which owns the platform now. You know, they're all Satanists on the top, all of them. So, but then again, this will be backed up on BitChute. I've been noticing that BitChute doesn't automatically, it's supposed to automatically upload my videos from YouTube. Doesn't always work. I got to manually updo them, which takes more time, but I'll do it. I don't give a damn. But I have to say this, that, that, I don't know if that's BitChute doing that or it's YouTube doing that and blocking something. I don't know. Just a technical glitch. I have no idea. But I even have to look at other platforms because I'm going to get into some other things. But you do have to watch with a lot of this old quote-unquote, let's not call it alternative, like healing with nature. Sometimes it's exaggerated. But then again, it's safe. It's a lot safer for the most part. Very few things with healing in nature are unsafe. Although big media will emphasize the unsafe part. But if you look at pharmaceutical, there's well over 100,000 deaths by properly prescribed pharmaceutical meds, properly prescribed and properly taken pharmaceutical meds have caused over 100,000 deaths every year. Dead. That's not talking medical screw-ups where they gave you the wrong medicine or the pharmaceutical place gave you the wrong medicine, the doctor did something wrong, or the person took too much. No, that's proper all the way, proper amount. And the news media doesn't emphasize that because YouTube is now part of the news media. They're owned by the money people. When are the American people going to wake up? Never. Because basically the CIA is right about them, American people. They're a bunch of ignorant dolts. And if you look at some of the, I'm going to have to mention this too, even at the end here. When you look at YouTube, you see all these flat Earth videos. That's a test. It's just to see how stupid people can be. That's what it is. There's a whole bunch of people now convinced in this modern age where you have, satellites orbiting the Earth, and they can take pictures from the sky, and you can look at them on your web browser. There's people out there thinking the Earth is flat, but they did that as a test. That's a CIA test right there. That's what that is. See, people are incredibly stupid. If they're that stupid with the flat Earth, it's like even if they get something right with healing with nature, they could take it way too far. In other words, healing with nature helps, but sometimes it works really, really good, but it's not the be-all, end-all of anything, but it should not be ignored. But as far as like what Big Pharma wants you to do, they want you to ignore it because it cuts into their profits. There's no doubt about it. You ask any oncologist out there, cancer doctor, most of them will not give chemo and radiation to their own family members. No. It shows you what kind of wonderful people they are, right? Yeah, but they talk real polite, don't they? Isn't that cute? Just like when big tech talks to Congress, they talk real nice, polite, or just like when Goldman Sachs talks to Congress or whatever. It's the government itself too is owned by all these big guys, and that is one of the reasons I was on with this Confederate stuff, because the Confederacy was really all about, fighting the big money powers. That's all it was about. Oh, and they pinned it on slavery. Big money powers have made you all into slaves. And what happened even in the South back in the 1800s or whatever, everybody, black and white, was like one big family. It wasn't like 1099 partnership with Google, faceless people out there judging you on who the hell knows what, whims. Back in the day, you actually had a person you could talk to. And whether you're a slave or not, you had more rights than you have even with Google. That's how bad the situation has gotten with, the faceless big tech that hides behind garbage. Anyway, over and out, and we're going to continue on, and I'll be fighting these powers outside of this platform in different various ways. I'm getting on with my letter writing campaign, and it's going to hit hundreds of sources. And, hey, it only takes one for it to bite to make a problem. In other words, you piss off me, it's gonna be pretty bad. Anyway, over and out.